Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This is Riley Tolsma. He is an edge rusher out of Ball State. Nice to have you on today, sir.
Hey Jimmy, thanks for having me.
So, hey, man, did want to get a chance to meet you and share your story. You have a very interesting one. Once upon a time, you were a well-touted Division II athlete at Hillsdale and made your way there to Division I, playing in the MAC, playing for Ball State. Riley, let's go ahead and get after it. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so my name is Riley Tolsma. I'm from a small town in western Michigan, about 15 minutes from the lake, called Hamilton. Our town has only about 3,000 people, so it's pretty small. And then I went to a small liberal arts school in Michigan, Hillsdale College. Like you said, it's D2. Our school only had about 1,500 students, so it's pretty unique for a college. And then I played there for 4 years, and I transferred for my last year to Ball State.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much catching us up to speed. Riley, let's start at the beginning, if you don't mind. Let's start with this question, and that is, how long have you played the game of football?
So I started playing in third grade. So what is that? This would be my 13th, 14th year, something like that.
Yeah, that would have made you like maybe nine. So do the
Yeah.
math. I don't know. You figure it out. But as you were playing since then, have you always been on the defensive side of things? I mean, I know sometimes, along the way, I mean, you're kind of playing both ways. Talk to me about you and your overall history with football.
Yeah, so when I started playing, up until my sophomore year, I was actually a running back and a linebacker. And
Nice.
then towards junior and senior year of high school, I played a little more tight end because I started getting bigger. And I was actually always a middle linebacker until my junior year of college.
Cool. Well, we'll get to talking about that here soon. Do want to park ourselves at Hamilton High School, which is where you played ball, and as you had mentioned, very small town, but obviously gave you an opportunity to play some football at the high school level. Also have in my notes that you did some basketball, you did some track and field. Talk to me about you as a high school athlete, and maybe perhaps one of your fondest memories.
Yeah, so in high school, like I said, I went to a pretty small school, so we didn't have very many athletes in general. So a lot of guys had to play all three sports because we didn't really have enough people to specialize. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing basketball. I like doing track just to diversify myself as an athlete. And I always like competing. And that gave me the chance to do that year round rather than just in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, as long as you keep yourself eligible, you're able to play all these sports in high school. Again, but some basketball, some track, and some football, obviously. What is it about the game of football that you love so much?
Ever since I was little, I always loved the physicality and just the competitiveness. I just feel like it's unmatched with any other sport with how much controlled aggression there is. And it's just I enjoy that nature of it.
Gotcha. And of course, growing up in Michigan, mostly playing actually linebacker, I guess, for a while, maybe some running back. Who are you a big fan of growing up?
So growing up, I've always been a big Lions fan. So Calvin Johnson was right around my era when I started watching and started playing. So he was always my favorite growing up.
Of course, I mean, that's Megatron. He is one of the best to ever do it. But of course, maybe not your particular position, because we're looking at you as an edge rusher. But I mean, when you're living in Michigan, who else are you going to really be a fan of in one of the goats? Um, Cool. Again, let's continue to walk through this story of yours. At a Hamilton High School, you found your way to Hillsdale College. Talk about the recruiting for you coming out of high school and how you ultimately ended up there at Hillsdale.
So I would say I had a pretty unique recruiting experience. I was, I didn't really get recruited at all until the spring of my junior year. And then all of a sudden, I just got a text from Purdue's recruiting coordinator, and he's like, "Come to our junior day." And I was like, "Whoa!" And I went to a couple camps there that ended up not working out. And then my sister actually went to Hillsdale. 5 years, she's 5 years, 6 years older than me. So I was familiar with Hillsdale all along. And then towards the summer before my senior year, they started recruiting me. They offered me. And then once about September hit, I didn't have any other D1 offers, and Hillsdale was the school I wanted to go if I was going D2. So I committed there.
Hey, it made sense. I mean, you're kind of keeping it in the family, so to speak. You know, you're building that tradition there. Going to Hillsdale. Again, I do want to talk a little bit more about Hillsdale, Division II school that maybe not a lot of people know. Talk about that school and kind of enlighten us a little bit about your overall experience there as a student.
Yeah. So Hillsdale is like you said, it's a really small liberal arts school. And yeah, it's in I guess southeast kind of Michigan, but it's kind of really in the middle of nowhere. It's about an hour outside of Ann Arbor. Um, no, but it's really just a close-knit school. Everybody knows everybody there because there's so few students. So you walk around campus and you know a lot of people you see. So it's just it's really good atmosphere there.
Yeah, and there's where obviously you were given the opportunity to play football. And as you had mentioned, coming into college, you were actually playing linebacker. You played linebacker for a couple seasons, and then I have in my notes in 2000, in 2022, made the switch from linebacker to edge rusher. So, talk about how you were used at Hillsdale and just kind of your overall success there, because I mean, you really did a wonderful job there at that school. So, talk about that transition and really how you were used on defense.
Yeah, so starting off my freshman sophomore year, actually my whole time throughout, I always played a lot of special teams. Um, and when I was at linebacker, I was 240, 245, and my coaches just saw it better that I got moved down to D line so that I could continue bulking and not have to like limit my weight. So then once I moved to D line, it seemed to be more of a natural position because I got to use my physicality and my strength in that nature. So so yeah, my last 2 years at Hillsdale, I was a strong side D end. And yeah,
Well, and that's really where you excelled the most. And I want to say you were an all-conference player there at Hillsdale. Um, and did very well as an edge rusher. And then ultimately, because of the pandemic, you're one of these guys who, you had the opportunity to take your efforts perhaps elsewhere. And so you put your name in the portal and then, of course, end up at Ball State. So, talk about how the transfer portal was for you and how you ended up there at Ball State as perhaps maybe somewhere else.
yeah. So really from the start of when I hit the portal like mid-November, and it was maybe a week after I hit it. Ball State just started reaching out to me, and the offensive coordinator, Coach Elliott, he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming up to see you." And he's like, where's the closest place that I can meet? So we met at a coffee shop right on campus, and he was just a really great dude, and he just really showed me that they cared about us as people and not just players. And I just really got a good vibe from the coaching staff. And he's after the visit, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna keep sending people here until you commit." And then the defensive coordinator, Coach Stockton, came up a couple days later, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna keep coming until you commit or tell us you're not coming here." So then it ended up being the right fit.
Well, hey, it sounded like they really wanted you. And so they were really pressing hard about getting you there at Ball State. And so, hey, you get there at Ball State, you're now part of you know, uh, Division 1, playing in the MAC. How was that transition from Division 2 to Division 1? Talk about maybe the differences in the defenses that you were part of, and maybe some of the overall competition.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference to me, it's kind of strange, but it's everybody's just taller here. Like a lot of the guys at Hillsdale and D2 guys in general, they're a lot of the offensive linemen, sometimes they're 6'2", 6'1", 6'3", but I come here and it's like all the offensive linemen are 6'5", 6'6", or taller. And it's kind of yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, you look in the MAC and again, just to be fair, there's a lot of good offensive linemen in the MAC at several different schools, at Ball State and also obviously your opposition. And so, yeah, I mean, now you're having to deal with guys that are bigger, that have more length, that are taller. And you're now competing with the big boys in Division 1. So, and again, being used as an edge rusher, but I don't know. Anything change a little bit in like the overall like defensive like mindset? Coming from Hillsdale to Ball State, like using the same concepts generally, or what?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I was strong side defensive end at Hillsdale. I was same thing here. I mostly stood up at Hillsdale, mostly stood up here. The only real difference was our nuke technique that we use. It's just more aggressive. So there's a little bit less reading and a little bit less hesitation in this defense. But in general, I would say I'm used very similarly as I was at Hillsdale.
Cool. So let's look at you as a prospect overall. Again, edge rusher. Give us an idea of what we're looking at here. First of all, what's your current height and weight?
So right now I'm about 6'4", 275.
So you said 275?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good, you know. So I had in my notes about 10 pounds lighter. So I don't know what's been going on since then. Maybe is that what have you put that on since being there at Ball State or what?
Mm-hmm. So I started fall camp at around 265 and I put on about 10 pounds since then.
Wow. So hey, that's what happens when you get to a Division 1 school. They feed you and make you into a bigger prospect. Again, 6'4", 275. So what does that mean for you as a prospect? How do you feel like you are going to transition to the next level? What do you feel maybe even separates you from others at your position?
Yeah, I think my biggest advantage as a player is my obviously my size, but my strength. I feel like I'm stronger than most guys, and at 275, I feel like I can use that really well. So I think that's what puts me above others.
So, highlighting your strength, of course, you've done that a couple times. So, I mean, obviously, with that being said, I mean, we're looking at a guy who knows his way around the weight room. That being said, Riley, what's your favorite lift?
Oh, that's a tough question. Um, I always growing up or like in high school and early in college, it was always hang clean. So I would have to say that.
And can you share maybe a PR there that you've been able to do so that everyone else knows like what we're looking at?
Yeah, what was it? I can't remember. It was either this summer or last summer I hit 405.
So 405 hang clean for people that aren't maybe as familiar with that lift. Very good for guys at that with that number, and it is a full body lift, and it is something that translates directly to football. So kudos for you for being able to throw some weight around quite literally. So cool. So let's look at things here for you. I mean, you were at Hillsdale for several years. You only really have 1 year at Ball State, unfortunately. Not really having like the most success overall when it comes to wins and losses. So I know that's kind of harsh. But when maybe perhaps these things aren't going your way, um, what helps keep you motivated?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me and the real reason why I play football in general is just my love for the game. Like I just love playing. I love going out there and competing. And I mean, as you said, I've had my fair share of bad seasons, but I just even when like Friday we were 3-8 and by the media standards we didn't have anything to play for, but it's just all about your love for the game, man. Like I just love going out there and competing.
Yeah, but again, even though the win-loss record, isn't quite ideal, it doesn't mean that you yourself haven't had a lot of good plays, a lot of good games. So Riley, let's highlight a couple of your you know, best moments if you don't mind. Talk through maybe one of your best games, maybe even at each school if you have one of each to share.
Um, Yeah. So my best game at Hillsdale was probably I'm trying to think. It was a home game versus Northwood and I had two sacks. I think I had I think I had a TFL for a safety, so I had three TFLs and like 11 tackles. So that was that week I won Conference Player of the Week. So that was definitely my most fun game at Hillsdale. My not for the team wise, but we last week we had senior day versus Bowling Green. I had two sacks and like six or seven tackles or something like that. So that was the team result didn't go the way we wanted, but personally that was probably my most successful game at Ball State.
Well, I mean, at least individually, as a guy who obviously has goals. I mean, your goal is to go out there, give it 100%, and there's only so much you can do. Which obviously you ended it very well. Of putting forth the best effort possible, and obviously getting one over on a couple of your you know competitors there in the MAC. So uh, when we're talking about you and uh, just kind of your overall career, I know that there's been a lot of people over the years that have been part of your journey. Let's first look at your teammates. Um, who's been maybe your I don't know most impressive teammates over the years?
Yeah, so at Hillsdale, I two of the offensive linemen I played with were they're actually identical twins or pretty much identical twins. And I lived with or around them for my last 3 years at Hillsdale. So I really developed a close bond with them. And they're actually going to be two of my groomsmen in my wedding this June. So
Cool. What are their names, real quick?
Nick and Ben Alfalter.
Nice. Well, hey, it's nice that you're still close to those guys. What about the people there at Ball State? I mean, I know you've only been there for a season, but I mean, I know that there have been, maybe some people that, you had to obviously, get new friends coming to a new university. So, who's been the most impressive there?
Yeah, I would say our starting nose, Nathan Reichert, he's really shown me the ropes at Ball State ever since I got here in January. He's just taught me what Ball State is about and taught me about campus and the people here. And yeah,
Well, hey, it's nice to have a guy there to kind of show you the ropes.
mhm.
So as a new guy on the block, I mean, it's not always easy. So you do need to have some of these, you know, guys to, obviously, lean on a little bit, until you get yourself, comfortable, with the new university. So, um, with a guy who has gone to, Hillsdale and Ball State, I mean, I'm sure you've got at least one degree under your belt. What have you gotten? What have you accomplished as a student? Can you talk through your academic achievements?
Yeah. So I was at Hillsdale for 3.5 years, but I needed a couple of classes to finish my degree. So then I took a couple classes at Ball State, took an online summer class at Hillsdale, and then I graduated from Hillsdale in May with my degree in financial management. and I was actually I've been on the dean's list every semester that I've been in college. So
Cool. So, hey, it's nice to be able to say you've been on the dean's list, that you're a smart cookie, that you know at least how to get your job done off the field as well. So cool. Riley, do want to get a chance to meet you a bit more outside of the game. And so you'd mentioned that you're gonna be a married man here soon. I mean, you already picked out some groomsmen and all that. But other than that, anything else that you want to share about yourself? Hobbies, interests, fun facts, or maybe any special hidden talents or something that maybe not everybody knows. Tell a little something about yourself.
yeah, so right when COVID hit, it was about March, April 2020. I was uh I was just sitting around my house and I was like, I want to try to learn how to juggle. So I spent a couple hours every day and I just figured out how to juggle. So I'm actually pretty good at juggling.
That's nice. You get out, that. I'm assuming you're just juggling like tennis balls or something. You're not doing anything crazy like juggling knives yet, are you?
No, I stick to tennis balls.
No, no, you're fine. Uh, Trying to see if I can get some more, maybe some fun questions to ask you. So, what else are you into? Maybe like, I don't know, favorite movie or TV show.
Hmm. Um, I don't know if this is my current favorite, but growing up, I was always a big Harry Potter fan. I've read all the books and watched all the movies several times. So that was always growing up my favorite.
Hey, that's fair. I think a lot of us have gone through that journey as well with you. So, I know I've read the books at least twice over and watched the movies a million times because they're always on TV. So hey, they're not bad. See if there's some more here that I can ask. I'm trying to see here. A bucket list vacation spot. Where would you like a chance to go one day if you haven't been already?
Definitely Australia. I
So
just think what
go
was
ahead.
that?
Why is basically the question. Go ahead.
I don't even have a particular reason. I just think I've seen all the videos and pictures of the desert and the kangaroos and stuff, and I just think it'd be sweet. Seeing the coral reef and stuff would be cool.
I just think it would be amazing to literally go to the other side of the globe. Like that whole experience of that. I mean, obviously there are people living all the way over there, and we don't even know. And so you get on the plane forever, and you cross the date line. That would be fun to do. So that sounds like an okay thing to do. See if there's some more here that I can ask you. You have any pets?
Yeah, I actually have my fiance and I have a dog and a cat.
Okay. What kind?
He's a black lab with a we don't know what he's mixed with exactly. We got him from the shelter. So he's a black lab something.
Gotcha. I am going to ask you at least one more, Riley, that I think is interesting, and you may or may not have really thought through this. So, if you don't have an answer for me, I'll forgive you. But have you ever thought about maybe what perhaps you might be able to use football for? Maybe like again, using it as a platform for perhaps something greater so that you can make an impact like within the community, things like a charity or a cause. Like, have you taken time to really think about those things yet?
Um, in a broad scheme, yes. I don't have like any particular plans, but my idea for how I could serve people would be so I'm a finance major. So my idea would be to help teach people about financial literacy and using my platform of football and that popularity to teach people how to handle their money and how to get out of debt and things of that sort.
So maybe like when football is over with, you'll be like a financial consultant. Is that kind of the plan?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards financial advisor or something of that sort.
Nice, nice. Uh, cool. So, Riley, we've taken a good long while to get to know you on and off the field. So this has been fun. Do need to wrap up our time. Obviously, there's some scouts who really want to know about you. They want to meet you. They've been watching your film, even when you were at Hillsdale, and you were able to really go out there to Ball State and really shine. Um, for the people that may still have any doubts about you, tell them what kind of a player they would be getting if they took a chance on you. So go ahead and close us with your final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a guy that is always gonna continue working and never give up, and I'm always striving to improve. So I'm never finished. I'm never a finished product as a player, and that's something I really pride myself on. So what you see is not never the best version of myself.
Well, I mean, hey, it's nice to be able to always strive to be better. But Riley, what you do bring to the table is something very interesting that I know a lot of teams would really like to have you, on their team. I mean, when you're looking at a guy who's 6'4", 275. I mean, I can utilize you in a whole lot of different packages. And I do think that that helps you as a prospect. Also had a whole lot of snaps on special teams too. So, I mean, like immediately, like you come in and you're able to, really make an impact in that way. So, I, again, feel like you have a lot to add to a team. So, want to wish you all the best in this process. I mean, I know, right now things are finished up and you're looking forward. So a lot going on, pro day going to happen and all that, but you take care. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jimmy.
Sure thing. Again, Riley Tolsma, edge rusher out of Ball State. Check this guy out.